Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Inside. You are tuned into another exclusive premium cut edition of the Alamo Dome Audible podcast. We thank you so very much for subscribing, supporting, and most importantly, tuning in. As always, I'm joined by the man, Jared Kalmus, also joined by our fresh intern, Clayton CJ Benavidez. I'm Adrian Bermudez. What is up, boys?
Not much, man. Great to be here. You know, three's a party for sure. we got some great topics. I'm really excited about this one. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
We've got some fantastic topics, and only appropriate that we have three here to represent all points of the triangle of toughness. And indeed, the triangle traveled to the Conference USA tournament as women's soccer claimed the first Conference USA championship in program history. Yes, indeed. We have two conference championships between UTSA football and UTSA football. Yeah, baby. You better believe it. You better believe it. Oh my gosh. Just unbelievable, man. Fantastic from Derek Pittman and the ladies of UTSA Soccer.
They've been my favorite UTSA team to watch like in a long time. I'm just so ecstatic and so thrilled for them. I had a kind of funny watching experience because I was stranded in Birmingham because my flight kept getting delayed. So I watched the whole match on my little 7-inch tablet in the Hilton Garden Inn.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Kind of tucked away in a corner, trying to, stop from cheering and drawing a lot of attention to myself as I was camped out there.
I was gonna say, how loud were you screaming in that Hilton lobby?
I tried to keep it low key because I didn't want to get kicked out and have to sit at the airport for 6 hours or whatever. But
good old press box behavior from Jared in the lobby. Very nice.
Golf claps only. But yeah, it was awesome, man. A strange watching experience, but definitely one that I'll remember. And my whole lifespan as a UTSA fan, our women's soccer program has never been good. Like since I was accepted into UTSA to now, last year they were pretty solid. But if you go back and you look at like historically, this program has been really, really bad. I mean, even when UTSA was in the Southland, they were still getting trounced by South. Is trounced a word? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's been ugly. And I'm clicking through the years right now, like as I scroll back, and not a lot of 500 records even. And you look at the competition, man, and it's brutal. So I really think the job that Derek Pittman has done with this program is absolutely phenomenal. It's hard to say if it's a better, worse, or equal job than what Jeff Traylor's done with the football program. In some ways, I think it's better because Traylor did inherit a pretty talented roster. I don't think you can say the same thing for Derek Pittman. Like he truly built this thing from scratch, and it's been so fun to watch. I mean, he just seems like an awesome coach, awesome person. So I'm just so thrilled for him, his assistant coaches, the whole administration, and of course the players who put the blood, sweat, and tears in on the pitch to make it all happen.
Yeah, when Derek Pittman took over, it was 5 years ago. 2018 was his first year at the helm. In 2017, before he got here, women's soccer was 3-14 overall. And this dude just slowly but surely continues to improve from 6-9-2 in 2018, 8-8-1 in 2019. And in 2020, we had the COVID season, right? So things were a little in flux from that. And you kind of write that off. But then 2021, you go 10-5-4. And it's like you see the incremental progress year over year. And then, right, the crowning jewel moment in 2022, able to take a conference championship. And Jared, he did build it up, and they also had some fantastic seniority on this team to go ahead and get them there as well, right? And now that I'm talking about it out loud, 5 years, so I guess Derek Pittman was really at the helm for a lot of these upperclassmen that are on this team. He's really been their coach throughout their whole career at UTSA.
Yeah, I know a lot of like the upperclassmen leaders for UTSA are transfers. So I'm not sure how many of the ladies that, were seniors have played their whole career for Coach Pittman, but some of them certainly, yeah, it's been a really long process, I think, to get the talent level up to a level of competition. And, to be frank, I mean, I've watched a fair number of these matches, and I don't think you can say that UTSA is more talented than a lot of the teams they beat, but they're certainly grittier and they want it more and they hustle harder. Very much like a Memphis Grizzlies type of soccer team, grit and grind all the way.
Well, I like how you mentioned like they're so fun to watch, one of your favorite teams to watch, because they really are. They're always taking shots on goal, right? And they always seem to outshoot their opponents, outkick their opponents, if you will. And yeah, they're really high entertainment value soccer team to go out there and watch, just from the hustle, the grit, and they play extremely cohesively together.
Yeah, the thing that's, I know we've said this on the podcast several times before, but the thing that has always stood out to me about this team is just the level of effort and like the lack of quit. I mean, so many overtime matches, so many golden goal wins, so many penalty kick shootouts, it's just like, this team is so relentless. And I think that's part of what makes them so special, right? Is like, it feels like they're never out of it. Even when they're down a score or two, like they're always going to tough it out through the end and pull off some miracle wins. And, I don't know, like, what money line looks like for if you're betting on some of these women's soccer games. But I feel like they pulled some pretty major upsets, especially these last 2 years, especially, all these wins over North Texas. They're a really, really good program. And we've just got their number, man. We're tuned into them. And then, it's beautiful to see.
We'll get into the North Texas game. But let's talk about the championship match first. Marley Frey, first goal to start off the back and forth, 29 seconds after she's put into the game. And then the dagger, right? The game winning goal, the go ahead goal, a header off the corner kick in double overtime. So yes, Marley Frey starts it and finishes it, dude. 2 shots, 2 goals. What up, man? Fantastic.
That first goal was awesome too. Like, it didn't look like much when I first watched it, but having rewatched the score a couple of times, it was like a really nice touch off the left foot. Like, it was pretty impressive. And, it was a pretty small window of opportunity that she was able to find the back of the net.
Mm-hmm. Real special. And then I think you got to shout out in that same breath, Kendall Closa, defensive MVP, super senior, San Antonio native, comes back for her super senior season to go and win a Conference USA championship. She's played under Coach Pittman at UTSA since 2019, started tenure every single game she's able to. It's incredible work from Kendall Closa, man. Just an absolute UTSA, a San Antonio legend, man.
She's the Frank Harris of UTSA women's soccer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think that's fair.
I mean, the only difference is she went D1 at VCU, which I think is a pretty good soccer program, but then came all the way home from Virginia and just completely changed the entire course and direction of this program. And, her family is like really well connected in the San Antonio athletic community. So I feel like the inroads they're able to make, with Kendall like recruits for the football team too. Like, she meets recruits on visits and tells them about UTSA and stuff like that, gives some tours from what I understand. So absolutely awesome, man. She's a great player. I think 2019, I saw them play at Rice, and her just like level of athleticism was like so far and above what the rest of the roster had. I was like, man, if we could find like 6-7 more girls that play like Kendall, we're going to be in business. I think slowly but surely they were able to do that. And I think, there's more help on the way talent wise. So, man, I could just gush about Kendall all day long. Just a real program changer. I'm sure Coach Pittman can do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anna Sutter, forward, she gets the nod at offensive MVP player of the game, right? When you were watching,
first team all conference selection too, if I remember correctly.
When you were watching that game, Jared, like, what really stuck out to you?
Man, I don't know. I guess more of the defensive effort than the offense. I think. Okay. I mean, the first goal from Marley was pretty opportunistic. It's not like, UTSA had this beautiful, like, multi-pass, like, across the pitch. And, it's like this beautifully orchestrated thing. Like the goalkeeper for FAU just like came out early and tried to deflect a ball that she couldn't get to. So it was like kind of an easy touch for Marley, I mean, to get it off like that. The second one is just a great corner, right? The ball was perfectly placed. But really it was like on the defensive side that I was more impressed with the Roadrunners, because FAU looked faster. They looked taller. little longer. But UTSA just played so tough. I mean, they drew several yellow cards. They were very physical. They had some great tackles. And I think that was the main thing that kept them in the game for that long. Like, they just played clean enough on the defensive side that they were able to take advantage of the few errors that FAU made on their defensive end. So really, I think it was just, like I said earlier, like grittiness, determination, and hustle were the main things.
Yeah, talking about dudes, I think you got to shout out Mia Krasinski, goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. She's been an absolute stud all season long and hardly let anything get past her.
Yeah, took over for Jill Snyder as the starting goalkeeper, and she took a big hit to the shoulder. She fell down after a save in that FAU game, and didn't let that deter her. She had several more saves after that. So really tough, really impressive, and just all around great defensive effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say I'm glad to be seeing, UTSA have so much success right before we head into a different conference, because I think this sets the tone for not just, football, but for, other sports as well, as golf, volleyball, basketball, and soccer, that, saying that, this new school, could run the American Conference in women's soccer. And we just, got this beautiful new athletic facility built. It's very good for recruiting players. And when I look at the roster, it's impeccable to see, like, it's insane to see this pipeline of recruiting ranging from, Texas to Colorado to Florida to, New Mexico, and Mississippi. It's like
Switzerland.
Yeah. And extending across the country to Switzerland. And it's impressive. And I love to see teams be great, and coming out of nowhere. Because the last time they won a conference championship was in 2010. They weren't even, it was the Southland conference, I believe is what you said before. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome to see. I love when teams get the chemistry together and they start winning games.
Yeah. And when you mentioned new facility, I imagine you're talking about a race and not the Park West Fieldhouse, right?
No, I'm talking about like the big, gigantic athletic facility on the hill, where like the new weight room and like
right, yeah. So that's a Roadrunner Athletic Center of Excellence. They're actually getting their own facility right next to the soccer field.
Oh, wow,
under construction
really?
Right now. Foundation's done. They've got the piping coming up in place. There's some signage out there already. So that's about to take them to an even higher level.
Yeah,
those facilities are going to outpass a lot of what is in the American for other programs. It's a big step up in competition. But also when you look at their roster, like we talked about Mia Krasinski taking over goalkeeper, she's only a redshirt sophomore. Jill Snyder was a senior. You're going to lose Kendall Closer, you're going to lose Lexi Bolden. They were fifth year super seniors. But you're bringing back Marley Frey, who had the 2 goals in the conference championship game. Kieran Singh is only a junior, so she's coming back. Sasha Dady had a great season. She's coming back. She's only a junior. So, this program's in really, really great shape to compete. I think it's going to be a lot tougher moving forward in the American, because there's not going to be as many like easy gimme games in that conference. But the trajectory is awesome. Anna Sutter's only a sophomore. So, man, this program's going places. It's really exciting.
A lot of potential. And I like that you bring up, on the verge of going to the AAC, we're seeing the success happening in other sports, not just football. And UTSA is going to be competitive in a lot of these programs, man. You look at what men's tennis is doing, you look at what women's golf is doing, you look at what baseball did last season, what they're probably going to do again this year. It really is incredible. And then to speak to the range of all of the players that we have from different places, I'm sure with a lot of other sports where you tend to kind of really search far and wide to get recruits to come in. And we see that a lot with Olympic type sports and stuff like that. But I also think it's credit to Pittman's passport, right? He's been all over the place, and he was in Idaho for a few years before he came to San Antonio. Prior to that, he was at Missouri, he was at Arkansas State, he was at Gonzaga, and so he's really been all over the country, man. And I think that goes to a long way whenever you're searching far and wide to get these recruits in. Big shout out to Pittman, and also Pittman was the captain at Tulsa, being a goalkeeper. So next season he'll be in the same conference with his alma mater. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's rewind. You'd mentioned it earlier, Jared. In order to get to the conference championship against a number 5 seed FAU, UTSA had to get past number 2 seed UNT, Sox, UNT in the CUSA semifinal. We absolutely hate them so much, Jared. And dude, 2-1 over UNT. And after the game, Pittman says all roads to the championship lead through UNT without a doubt. And I'm just so proud of our players. But I mean, it really, really felt like getting past UNT solidified this team was going to go and win a championship game.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I think this was probably the real championship game if you look at how the rest of the matches in the tournament played out. Wasn't able to watch this one, but Kendall did score a goal as a defensive player. So she got a bomb one for like super far out. So that was really cool. UTSA had 10 shots on goal to just 4 for North Texas. So they really dominated them. Probably even more than that 2-1 score appears. So
sure.
That's great. And, it upset the Mean Green for sure. And, the game before that was also a thriller. Went to double overtime with UAB. Sounds familiar.
It never stops. It never stops these overtime games.
I'm telling you, man, Overtime University. That's
I like
a new
that.
brand. That's a new brand.
I like that. OTSA. What up? Let's
OTSA. Let's go.
We're playing for the 5th quarter, baby. The 5th quarter.
That's what I'm talking about. And it's grit, it's resilience, and that's what gets you through those overtimes, man. So yeah, you take down UAB 1-0, you take down UNT 2-1, and then you take down FAU 3-2, all together rolled up to get you a conference championship and an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, brother. And this Friday, we are going to be playing number 5 seed TCU, 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Holy cow. That's such an epic matchup for this team. It's just so cool to see that.
TCU is ranked 17th in the country.
Ooh.
So while they're a 5 seed, they are I guess they're a really low seed for their ranking. I'm no women's soccer expert, but when I saw that, I started scratching my head. I was like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
So that's tough, man.
That's gonna be a battle, man. But this team is ready for it. I mean, if anyone's ready to go in there and ball out against the Power 5, it's these ladies right here.
But you know what? It's the mental capacity these ladies have when playing these games, because before the season even started, I feel like majority of them didn't even know they were going to get this far. It's all about mentally getting over that mental obstacle of getting over the bad history that this program has been over for women's soccer, past records, and having not been winning since, I guess, 2010, or not winning a conference championship since 2010. And now that you've done it and you're here, now you have the mental capacity, you have the chemistry with one another, relationships built. And I have no doubt in my mind that they could definitely take on TCU, because I could already tell you that they are already mentally ready.
Man, I'm looking at TCU's schedule right now, and it's incredibly difficult. But the thing that really jumps out to me is, would you guys have ever guessed that Harvard was ranked 16th in the country?
No.
Wow, man. That's one impressive group of young ladies right there to get accepted to Harvard and be 16th in the country.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about
just a random aside.
Talk about the workload of a student athlete in the Ivy League. Jesus.
Yeah. It was also definitely Sip Saturday at TCU for that game. I'm curious what that was all about.
Oh,
get a sip wine while you watch the soccer match.
Sip Saturday.
We'll have to bring that to San Antonio, man.
Yeah, we need a couple.
Tap the kegs at Park West.
We need a couple of theme nights at Park West for sure. We could definitely go for some of that, baby. Yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah, so I will be tuned in Friday night. It's gonna be the highlight of my night, watching that, supporting those ladies. One last thing I want to say, we mentioned about all the momentum in the athletics department right now. All these different programs are excelling and finding historical success. But I thought it was really cool how all of the different sport programs all recorded little video notes to send to the soccer team and post it on social media.
It's awesome.
That was really cool. It was cool to see the camaraderie. I feel like a couple years back, stuff like that just didn't happen. There wasn't too much interaction between the different teams, maybe on an individual level, like they were friends or whatever, but it just feels like organized and part of a big family now. And that's really cool. And only one of the videos felt kind of forced, like a ransom note video. I can't recall what sport it was, but most of them, all of the athletes from all the different sports seemed like genuinely like really excited for the ladies. And I'm a big believer that a championship mindset is contagious in an athletic department. I've seen that a lot at UCF. Like, I feel like once UCF started winning at football, like all their other sports got so good overnight, right? And I think Jeff Traylor and the football team are paving the way for that. I think we're going to start seeing it even more, especially, nice showing from the women's basketball team against SFA the other night. I know they lost by 5, but they were looking good, man. They're looking good. So,
dude, but I mean, like,
exciting time to be a Roadrunner.
You think back to the 2021 season, you had this same women's soccer team throwing up the triangle after their wins last season. So you talk about it infectious, man. It really is. Once that culture and that buy-in starts to occur, and there's really a brand, right? And I think that's, and it's so much credit to Jeff Traylor, but whenever there's a brand that the athletics department can really get behind. And that 2-0 triangle of toughness, it really has. I mean, I know it's the football team's mantra, but you've seen all the other programs adopt it and embrace it. And it's now becoming this rallying cry and this branding of the entire athletics department, not just football in particular. I mean, we've really sort of ran with the 2-1-0 thing. And it's great to see. I also think, Jared, maybe the race facility has a lot to do with the camaraderie and the rah-rah happening between the different programs.
Dude,
right?
Okay, it's not a coincidence that UTSA finally built a freaking Division I facility for training their athletes, and they started winning championships. It's not that complicated, people. It's not that complicated. Let's keep winning more. Let's keep winning more. Keep
cause
donating.
and effect. Cause and effect. 100%, dude. 100%. So yeah,
I was trying to think of the right way to word that tweet all weekend, and I totally forgot about it. So I'm glad that you sparked that thought back in my mind.
You worded it phenomenally right there live. So good job on that.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Yeah. The future's bright for these ladies, man. It's so tremendous and so many good players. I think we were already sort of shouting out what the future's going to look like, but yeah, it's awesome. Just awesome.
Yep. Well, you guys want to take a quick Cumbia break, and then we'll hop over to our second topic and kind of talking about the coaching carousel and the new American Athletic Conference.
Oh, can I make one footnote on that note? Lisa Campos, 2 of her hires have now won conference championships. Lisa Campos has been here for 5 years. Unbelievable. This woman knows how to run an athletics department. This woman knows how to hire. She knows a winner when she sees one because she is a winner. Winners recognize winners. And that's what she is bringing here. You throw on top of that baseball being one pitch away, one strike away from a conference championship last season. Also, Pat Hallmark, another Lisa Campos hire. I mean, she has been phenomenal at the helm of this athletics department. She has been so great at everything she's done. Dr. Campos, we are forever grateful.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into the land of Patreon. We do these bonus episodes at least once a week within the season and do them regularly throughout the off season as well. We wanted to make sure that the women on the soccer team got their due celebration and recognition for all of their success on and off the pitch this year, and really just want to thank them not only for bringing this championship to UTSA, but for also the work that they've put in to build this program from the ashes. Coach Pittman, of course, obviously a huge part in that as well. So we want to make sure this was not just stuck behind our paywall so everyone can listen and enjoy and really just recognize the ladies for all their accomplishments. Now, if this is your first time listening to a Patreon episode, you might be happy to know that we do these episodes once a week in the season and periodically throughout the off season as well. So on the rest of our Patreon episode this week, we talk about the open coaching jobs in the American Athletic Conference, which UTSA will be moving to next season. That includes Charlotte, UAB, and USF. So myself, Jared, Adrian, and CJ go through and talk about each job a little bit, kind of how they got to where they are today, some of the pros and cons of those jobs, maybe even some rumors that we're hearing behind the scenes. We also talk about which of those jobs would be most attractive to a coach looking to make the step up their career ladder, and which of those jobs might be the best fit for them. So really fun discussion. It ran pretty long. We probably talk about that for about an hour, but I think it gives you a good insight into what these Patreon episodes typically entail. A little bit of a more, look behind the curtain into UTSA and college football in general. We have guests on all the time as well. So if you're not a patron, be sure to check it out. go to alamodomeaudible.com and all the details are there. You can sign up today for as little as $5 a month to get access to not only the rest of this episode, but all of our bonus episode as well. Our wallpapers that we put out every week, huge archive of previous data, all kinds of good stuff. So be sure to check it out. And thanks for listening this week. And we'll see you guys back next week to recap Louisiana Tech and preview Rice. So take care.